Hello.
Hello YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Wing Wednesdays with this guy.
Howard Wing. And this guy.
Adam Wing. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
We need to get in the flow. Now, we probably wonder why we're in different clothes because we're following on from the last video.
But I'm going to introduce that, explain that, then cut back. Sorry for the absence. We've been away a couple of weeks. I've been really busy. You've been
bonkers,
lazy,
bonkers,
stupid busy. I've been away. We've been all over the place. So we've not had a chance to do it. But we did try to start filming an episode last week before.
Shit stuck in your face.
And we just ran out of time. So the idea was to do a Q&A.
Wait a minute. Stop. We didn't run out of time. Adam ran out of memory card space.
Don't tell him that.
So, rule number one as a videographer, make sure you've got a backup with your cards, or spare cards. So that's the real reason. Then we sacked it off because we got busy. But we're back, here we are.
So, the idea was to do a Q&A because I've had loads of comments coming in, loads of people asking questions. It's great, keep them coming. So I was going to do like a quick fire Q&A of some of the comments. So we managed to film the first one before I ran out of space on my card. So, cut back to that now. So we've actually had, because there's people commenting on the videos, keep the comments coming in with questions and queries. I get messages, I get emails all the time, stuff on Facebook. So I've got like a list of questions that people have actually been asking.
Right.
Just Q&A style, answer some of them as today's episode.
Let's do it, bro. So, question number one is...
first one. Great question. What do you do when a bride asks for a discount? I get this all the time.
Just ignore the email. Just bin it straight away.
Send them a meme back. Some kind of sarcastic gif. You can't do that.
I'm joking.
How often do you get...
Ask for discounts?
Yeah.
It's very rare, to be honest.
Because I get it all the time.
I think it's just the way that I structure my emails. I say, look, my pricing starts with this, let's meet. Wow. So they kind of know the price. Very occasionally they'll come and meet me, and then, because for me, it's like, it doesn't matter to me, if I get the booking or not. And my books will always fill out. So my couples kind of know that. I mentioned that when I've obviously my meetings with them. So that
it's the way you
I don't need to give a discount to get a booking on that to fill my quota for the year. So it's not something that I need to do, but I do get asked occasionally.
Because if you had 40 weddings in for the year and someone else inquires and they're asking for discount, you could kind of say, well, no, I've got 40 already, I don't need to.
At the end of the day, I mean, they're hiring somebody professional, aren't they? So
if you're low on work and you're really desperate for the work, then maybe you do.
Yeah, I don't like the discount thing. I think you're open loads of cans of worms with your professionalism. They should know they're hiring somebody really professional who shouldn't be discounting what they're doing anyway.
You never know, they could be asking, and then if you're willing to drop your price by a few £100, then they start thinking, who is this guy? Do we really?
He's dropping his prices. He needs the work, and yeah.
So I say I get asked all the time. I get asked occasionally, like it happens every now and again, more frequently than you'd think. But I just say, like, if you can't afford this package, you want it knocking down, I can take the ceremony off or the full speeches edit, and I'll take some of it away to make it cheaper for them. I won't just discount.
Well, I think that's a good way for you to do it, because you've got different elements,
tiers,
different tiers to what you offer. So you can say, look, this is going to be this price. If you want something cheaper, then I suggest you just get this. Yeah. With me, I generally just say no.
You've got to value your work, haven't you? You can't just say, oh yeah, right, I'll do it for £200 cheaper than I normally do. Well,
this is what I say when I get it. I say, look, just to keep it fair to all of my couples, my pricing is the same, because it isn't fair if I do it cheaper for you and somebody else finds out that I've done it cheaper for a different couple. I just don't think it's a good thing to do.
That's the right way to word it, though, because then if you say, I can't give you a discount because then it wouldn't be fair on my other couples. And then that makes sense. That's a good way to...
That's what I say. And then for me, personally, it doesn't matter if I get the gig or not. If I've got a couple that say, well, we're only going to book you if you can do it for £300 cheaper, then I probably don't want the couple anyway. Because I'm wondering what the rest of the wedding's going to be like. And so
that's okay for us. It depends where you're at in your career.
Yeah, but I think for you guys with the video, you've got different tiers to what you offer. Then I would just suggest, say, look, you don't change your pricing. However, I offer a cheaper package, which just includes this.
If you want discount off the base package, then I'd just start like, well, I can't do that, but I can give you a shorter video or something, so that you at least.
Yeah, because you have your full feature package and your highlight package, don't you? So say, look, if you can't afford this one, this is the cheap one I do. It's still a great video, but you're not getting the full experience. But fair enough. So that's what I would do.
Go back to that, and then
question 2.
Okay, now we're back, and question 2.
Now we're back on question 2. First question though. How long did you dunk a rich tea in tea?
Not too long, because unless it's a hobnob.
So if you leave it too long, it's going to break off.
Stealing Peter Kay's material. Have you seen that sketch?
No, maybe I have. Perfect softness.
What do you do? What do you do if you're ill or you can't make the wedding for whatever reason? So, like, say it's got to the day of the wedding. I get people ask me this. What happens if you? I had a groom ask me, what happens if you are in a really serious car accident on the way to our wedding?
You've not.
So I was like,
God.
Well, and he went, like, in terms of the video, and I was like, if you're really, really injured. I was like, so I would
say, if I have a crash on the way home, then I've already got your footage backed up. Well, it's be all right because somebody else can edit it if I can't do it.
So I was kind of like, well, I can bring I'll arrange cover. I can get a second shooter, which I can do. Not so much for you, but I can do that. And he was like, yeah, but how are you supposed to sort that if you're unconscious? I was just like, I don't know.
You actually got those questions. This is it. This is the challenges we have in the wedding world.
What do you do if you are ill? Because it is a bit of a fear, like, I don't want to get ill on the morning of the wedding and let them down. You can't, can you?
No. I mean, yeah, I get the question quite a bit, actually. And I tend to tell them, say, look, you've booked me because you want me, so I can't really, there's not really anybody who can replace me, although I can recommend some people to do something similar. But people book me because they want how we're doing, they want my experience. I.e., instead of like an agency saying they just pick somebody off the website and I'll have that guy. It's a very different process when they book me, so there's nobody who can replace me. So I just kind of tell them, look, you get this with whoever you book, whether it be a band or a video. It's a common question.
But it's an act of God, isn't it? There's not a lot you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do apart from just reassure them and say, look, if I've got enough time before the wedding for me to put something in place, then obviously that is what I can offer you. Or I will say, if I can't make it to the wedding through illness, whatever, I will refund your money in full, and then it's up to you to try and get something else if you want. But obviously I will offer replacements that I think would be suitable.
Yeah. I think worst case, full refund, obviously. I mean, touch wood, it would never happen. It's not happened to me.
I've never missed a wedding yet through illness.
Yeah, that's it.
Is what happened.
And I think it's easier for like maybe videographers and photographers. I don't want to speak for everyone, but like if it was up to me, I would arrange cover in terms of I have someone else who I know they won't necessarily shoot it exactly the way I would, but they'll still be able to shoot a really good wedding video, and then I could still edit it later when I'm better, blah blah blah. So they're still getting an Adam Wing film, and that's the best you can do, aside from a full refund.
If it happens on the day,
I had
a bit more of a tricky one. If it's on the day,
yeah, I was
fall ill the morning of the wedding.
I was ill last weekend's wedding. I just dosed myself up and got through it because I wasn't.
That's what I've done.
Too good. I was on and off the toilet at the wedding venue. And I've done that in Italy. I did that in Italy once, and I had to use the same toilet as the guests. And I was really ill. And I was
Rule number one,
so
as a wedding supplier, don't use the same toilet as the guest. Try and find a different toilet.
Try and get them to a staff one, because it's the same. It's the same kind of thing about appearance and fresh breath and stuff. You don't want to be leaving toilet smells.
Going back to the question, if it happens on the day, what would I do? If I can't physically get out of bed, I would probably get my wife to ring somebody that I know that might replace.
Yeah, same
and if not, get my wife to ring the venue.
Emergency.
Get my wife to ring the venue or ring the bride or groom, and just tell them and come clean. But
I remember Dan Wotton, a photographer, just to throw Dan under the bus. He told me a story.
Love Dan. I worked with Dan last weekend.
Yeah, so he told me about when his wife was due to give birth on the day he had a wedding. So he told the couple way in advance, like, look, I'll take the booking, but she might be giving birth. If that happens, I'm going to leave your wedding for the birth of my child. So he took someone with, because he knew that he had plenty of time to arrange, and he took another guy with it. He cleared it with the couple, took someone else with him, and then on the day he could, if he needed to just drop and leave, he had his other guy there with him. So he made allowances, but I don't think he had to leave in the end. I think she gave birth like the day after or something.
He told me about the story, but a similar thing happened to me when Lincoln was born. So I'd been booked for a day and a night evening package for a couple, and we had the due date, which was the day of this wedding. So I contacted my couple, and I said,
"Okay, I didn't know that.
I'm just going to do the daytime, so then it leaves me free, so I can leave your wedding and go and catch up with Sam in the hospital in the evening." She went into hospital, so that's all I did. I kind of cut my act in half, but then they were more than happy with what I did in the daytime. So that was all right. That worked pretty well. But yeah, you just kind of hope it never happens. But there's something that maybe could potentially happen at some point, and it's just being a little bit prepared.
Yeah.
You guys having somebody you can call on as a backup.
Send cover is easy enough, but as long as you're communicating with your couple as often and as best you can, that's all you can do. We're humans; they can't expect too much from you.
Can't believe how the guy said, "What if you're in a car crash?"
I was going to say, I don't think couples would mind you saying those, don't be afraid to speak to them about it if you are ill, because they're human, they understand. But in this case, the guy was like, "What if you're really badly hurt? What happens to my wedding video?"
Not really bothered about you, but I was really bothered about his wedding video.
Anyway, moving on. Question 3.
Question 3, what is it? Hit me.
What's your booking ratio? How many inquiries? Okay, so what's your ratio of inquiries to bookings?
Oh.
Interesting. I would say I probably book because I have a calendar, and at the end of every month I go back and I work out how many inquiries I got that I was free for and how many of them booked, and I think, so I do keep tabs on this because I'm sad, but I think my ratio is about 1 in 8 of email inquiries convert to booking. Yeah.
So this is why you need to be out there proactive, being busy.
The point I'll make on that is 1 in 8 emails will lead to a meeting or a phone call, and then 95%, if I get to phone call meeting stage, they then go on to book. I think I've only had a couple of phone calls this year that haven't booked. Yeah,
this is why it's important you've got to keep driving those inquiries, and obviously things that we've talked about in the past on this channel, how to keep those inquiries, how to
generating them,
how to keep generating them, how to network with people, being busy, you get out your face at that, keep them inquiries coming, because you're going to get a lot more inquiries than you are going to get bookings. I think I'm on about, 25-30% of inquiries I'll take a booking from.
Numbers,
maybe I'd say,
but it's because you don't know. I don't have prices on my site, you don't, so people don't know until I get a lot of cold inquiries that are just like, "What's your price?" And a lot of it will be down to pricing, and I don't hear them again. If I don't hear from them again, I assume that it's because of pricing.
Isn't it funny though? Some couples will not. You'll reply to their email with maybe a starting price, and you'll never hear anything back. Not even thanks for getting in touch.
No,
you're a bit out of our price range.
It's really nice when they do come back and say thanks for letting us know, but you're out of budget, because at least then you know.
I get it all the time, and I think, why can't they just reply and just?
I had one inquiry that said, "Hi, how much do you charge?" That was it. Just a strange message on Facebook on my personal thing from some stranger. "Hi, how much do you charge?" So I was like, "What for?"
Hi, $5,000.
And then when I worked it out, and then I told him my start, and he just the reply was F, as in the F word, just one word. So I said, "Hi, I'm available. My prices start at this. Let's chat further." And F. The F word. That was his reply.
Oh, F star.
Yeah.
Star.
Yeah. And that was it. I never heard anything more from him.
People are weird. People have got no skills, even socially, and on computer world stuff. Maybe that's not the right
Question
term.
4.
But go on. You not even asked me this question yet.
What's your booking ratio? You said 25%.
Oh,
that's good numbers.
Did do, yeah. Oh, yeah. But moving on from that, when I get a reply and we arrange a meeting, I'm probably about 100%. Yeah. Maybe 99.9%. I might have one couple who doesn't book me.
Because when you get to that stage, they're obviously happy that you're in budget, they like your stuff, and they just want to see you as a person. And as long as you get on with them and they think, yeah, I can see them fitting in on our wedding, you've just got to be a people person at that stage.
Saying the right things and doing the right things and being awesome.
Yeah, you've got to
Always
be a
helps.
people, and it's can be hard for videographers and photographers, especially, to be people, because you get a lot of creative introvert types. But you've got to be. You're in a client-related business. You've got to be.
This is where I think you're going to stand out a little bit, because a lot of video people, quite introvert behind the camera, maybe not the greatest chatty people. This type of person.
Don't get it. You've got to be.
But no. But saying that, I know a lot that are so. But I think the point is
doing well.
You've got to be, you've got to be a bit more than just somebody behind a camera, haven't you?
Next question is: do you use a second shooter or do you work solo? I'm guessing that's for me.
I use a.
Yes, I work solo. 99% of the time, I do have second shooter options, but most of the time I work solo. I found this one quite. This wasn't like a comment, or just someone that a photographer that I worked with a couple of weeks ago that we got chatting. I thought I'd include this. But they were thinking of renaming the business to their name instead of like special day wedding films.
Special day.
Your special day.
Hey, Stefan is absolutely smashing it, and all credit and power to that point.
So,
it's great, but there's opinions and different thoughts on this.
How
my approach.
Well, no, the question is, how do you name your business for people starting out, or if you decide you want to, because I've known videographers that have changed their name from a generic like business name to Adam Wing Films, like making it about you. Because when I started, you said like it wasn't even a question, was it? It was like you're going to be called something with your name in it, because that was your advice.
That was my. This is
why,
wedding.
Why did you advise me on that?
This is when it comes to weddings, because people want to relate to people and they want to be friends and they want to know the person, I feel, who's doing it, rather than a corporate outfit, Elite Films Limited and stuff like that. I've been at weddings before where they've had a team of corporate videographers and they've all got branded shirts and all this sort. It's just too corporate. I think people want more of a personal feel.
I speak to brides and grooms that are like, I was at my friend's wedding last month and they had these guys and it was horrendous. And they described the polo shirts and the branded fleeces and all that stuff.
People want to know your name.
I think if someone's coming from like a media background and they're used to being in a big corporate company like that, and then they get into weddings, they kind of think that that's how maybe it should be, but it's. I think if you only do weddings, I think I'd use your name within your title without a doubt. Do not wear a branded polo shirt.
But it's more relatable. You're a relatable person. Then people can find your social media. Oh, there's Adam. There's that. It is what. I mean, I have known a few video people who've changed from, so we say, Elite Films to their own name, and I think it just makes you more relatable. It's a friendly way to do it.
Might be a bit of a bugger if you're already established in terms of SEO, because we know someone that had a bit of a pain doing that. Can I name Tom? It's from
I'm not sure.
Silk to Tom Harrington, and he had a bit of a pain trying to sort out his SEO.
But did he?
I think it's been worth it in the end. Oh yeah. He soon because he's.
Well, I know him as Tom.
Speaks for itself,
because it's Tom and it's his name.
So I think it only took him a couple of weeks to jump straight back up to the top. But
I think starting out just in weddings, use your name.
Yeah,
use your name. Have we given enough reasons why? What benefits is it using your name?
Well, it makes you more relatable, doesn't it? And
more
people
relatable,
buy into
people. More friendly.
That's the only.
It doesn't give
you a need.
You're a real person rather than a corporate entity. So when it's the wedding world, it's a very personal world. I think it's the best thing to do.
I just think, and then if you're called Adam Wing Films, and then I come back in an email or I ring someone up, hi, and they know like, hi, it's Adam from Adam Wing Films. They expect to speak to Adam. The drawback of that is you can't then send. Like I couldn't just send someone else to shoot the wedding.
No,
unless I was ill. If I was a nameless brand and you're just going to get one of 3 shooters, people expect Adam because it's Adam Wing Films.
Yeah.
Which is,
the way we're setting. We talked about setting your business up as always
that's
being
the way
about
I want to
you.
be. Yeah.
And you're going to be, X weddings a year. And if you want to go out and do 500 weddings a year, then obviously you can't do it on your own. You're going to have to become that entity, aren't you? But it's not the way forward for you, for what you want to achieve. That. So
happy with my 50.
50 is enough weddings.
50. At this stage of the year, 50 is more than enough because I've still got about 8 left.
But it's
I'm coming out at the other end of it now. Summer's been mental, but it's all good fun. In
50 weddings a year. You know, this one of your. Somebody commented on one of your things, didn't they, saying you shouldn't be doing that many weddings or work.
Well, people think it's slave labour to be doing.
Work smarter, work harder than harder. I like.
My favourite comments were the ones that were like, they were convinced that if you're doing more than 40 weddings a year, you're clearly either way underpriced or quality shit. Like, you can still do a good job, and how do you have time to work on your craft if you're doing that many? I'm like, it's 50 weddings a year, right? So there's 50 days shooting the wedding. There's maybe, it takes me 2 or 3 days to edit. There's maybe like another, I've still got loads of free time to work on stuff. It's not like I'm working down a coal mine and knackering myself for 60 hours a week.
We should have a separate video rant about this.
Anyway.
Let's
call it there.
Well, let's just quickly, if you think about an average salary where somebody works 9 to 5, 5, sometimes 6 days of the week, and they're going to earn an average yearly wage. What's the average wage in the UK? 18 grand a year.
I think. It might have changed, but
18 grand a year, and they're working all year, and they're getting 2 or 3 weeks holiday a year to earn that amount of money. And you've got these guys telling Adam he should be working smarter by doing less than 50 and charging more. Well, Adam charges a great price as it is. He has so much more free time than he did when he was working in the corporate world.
I was a teacher.
And he's
got loads more time now.
And his world has just completely opened up massively, and it's been such a good experience.
The point of that video in particular was that the more weddings you do, the more opportunities the more you say yes, the more opportunities you're creating.
Yeah, but that's just life in general, isn't it?
That was my
opinion. Why would somebody think I'd rather do 10 weddings a year and charge 10 grand of it? Well, you've got what are you going to do for the rest of the time?
Well, but if you're quite happy to earn 100 grand from 10 weddings and have the rest of your time to yourself to play with your kids, great, amazing, good for you.
They drive you mad. I don't want to play with my kids all the time. I love being out there mingling, chatting, and doing.
If you're at the stage of your life where I'm at, where I don't have kids, I'm thinking, I've no commitments of that kind. I can work on foundations.
Yeah, but Adam, 50 weddings a year, even if you've got kids, so you go and shoot on a Saturday.
Yeah,
right, you're going to edit for a couple of days. You've got the rest of the week to play with your kids, and then you're doing it again the next weekend. So you think if it's 1 gig a week, so you shoot one day, you edit for the next 2, then you've got 4 more days of the week left. Well, you've got plenty of time to do whatever you want to do.
Weddings a year.
Yeah, and you're earning amazing money, and we need to readdress
separate issue.
We need to do some proper maths and have a big whiteboard about this.
Well, we could come back with that, but I think in next episode we could talk about the awards, because awards season is coming up.
Yes, let's talk about the wedding awards. Awards season, always tend to be, don't they? Wintry time.
So thanks for tuning in as ever, and we will see you in the next one.
All right, is that it? We're not talking about it now. Do it in the next one.
No.
Right, see you in the next video. Bye. Goodbye, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Ow!